this video, I'll be showing you how to make a very low stress yet impressive summer meal. If you like to eat fresh or want to try something new, this one's for you. Today we will be making a tomato and garlic tart, salmon and herb salad, and a lavender syrup stone fruit dessert, plus some French 75 cocktails. Each of these dishes is highly customizable to accommodate allergies and preferences. A few things about this tutorial before we get started. First, you will notice that there are no fixed measurements. This might sound daunting, but hang in there. I'll explain every decision I make as I go. Second, the individual ingredients are highly swappable in all three dishes. Substitutions will be recommended as we go, but have fun with your own version of this meal. And finally, this video will demonstrate the recommended sequencing of the preparation in order to maximize kitchen time and reduce stress. Okay, let's get into it. First, lightly dust a clean workspace with flour. Prepare a sheet of defrosted puff pastry by removing from packaging and folding corners and edges to create a thin border. Place on a nonstick pan and lightly perforate with a fork to allow for air during cooking. Place dough in an oven preheated to 400 degrees for 15 minutes to par cook the crust. While the crust is in the oven, prepare the garlic spread. Use a garlic press or a knife to mince as many cloves of garlic as you'd like into a small bowl. I'm a big garlic person, so I used about 11 cloves here. Add enough olive oil to fully saturate and cover the minced garlic. Zest a washed lemon directly into the oil mixture. I like to use the zest of an entire lemon, but again, this is entirely up to you. After zesting, slice the lemon in half. Either by hand squeezing or using a citrus press, juice the lemon and add to the oil mixture. Set the mixture aside. Next, we're going to start on our main dish, the salmon and herb salad. Slice the small potatoes in half lengthwise. Drizzle olive oil over a small sheet pan. Pat salmon dry before placing fillets in the center. Add the drained artichokes. Scatter sliced potatoes around the pan, separating any stuck halves as needed to allow for even roasting. Add salt and fresh dill sprigs and place on the bottom rack of the oven. While we let our crust finish drying in the oven, let's prepare the filling. Slice your tomatoes in thick discs, keeping the seeds intact as much as possible. Remove the puff pastry from the oven and allow about 2 minutes for it to fully deflate. Once flat, brush the entire pastry with the garlic lemon oil mixture. Avoid puddles of liquid and spread the garlic out as much as possible to allow for even flavor throughout. Next, add sliced tomatoes in any way that suits you. Top with hand-torn basil leaves, removing stems as needed. Sprinkle with cracked pepper and place back in the oven for another 15 minutes. Let's take a break from the oven to prep our gorgeously fresh dessert. Slice a few pieces of your favorite stone fruits. I used peaches and nectarines here, but apricots, plums, or even cherries would also work well. I like the way large slices look, but you could dice or chop the fruit if you prefer. We're going to top our fruit with a tablespoon of lavender buds, 1/4 cup of hazelnuts, and 2 ounces of simple syrup. Finish off with gorgonzola and a rosemary sprig for extra flair. Our tart is done once the edges are golden and firm. Top with more torn basil and goat cheese. Set aside to cool. As we wait for our main dish to finish roasting, let's prep the herbs and olives. In a large serving bowl, add drained olives. Grab 2 bunches of each herb you plan to use. Here we have parsley and dill, but cilantro, basil, and even mint work too. Pull the herbs off their stems by hand or with a tool if you have one. Once you have your herbs mostly separated from stems, finely chop with a large knife. This may take a little more time if you are averse to having pieces of chopped stem in your mix. Once thoroughly minced, add herbs to the olives. The salmon is flaky and potatoes are soft, meaning our main dish is done roasting. Carefully transfer the salmon, potatoes, and artichokes into the bowl with the olives and herbs. Don't forget that your pan just came out of the oven, so be careful. If you use salmon with skin, remove that now. I like to break my salmon up into bite-sized pieces, but you can leave the fillets intact and serve whole if you prefer. Give the mixture a good stir, bringing the herbs and olives to the top. While our food settles, let's make a simple French 75. Add an ounce of gin to each cocktail glass, followed by 2 ounces of lemon juice and an ounce of simple syrup. Add your favorite ice cube and give it a good stir. Top with a fresh bottle of Prosecco or any sparkling white wine. And just like that, dinner is served.